Hello and welcome to this first reading softly to you. I announced this in my first video on this YouTube channel that I was planning on starting reading some of my stories and making videos of that and posting them here. And I choose this with a soft voice, soft spoken, because I personally really like ASMR. So I wanted to do not just read my stories, but maybe help you relax a little bit as well. So that is why it's going to be soft spoken. Or you can tell maybe from my accent that I'm not a native English speaker, so I hope you will forgive me if I make some mistakes. And it is the middle of the day, or not middle of the day, it's still morning, but we're close to 12 p.m. But I really like scented candles, so I don't often light them up just to have some light in my room, here in my studio, but I light them because I really like the scent. And yesterday I went to IKEA, and because I really like the scented candles that they have over there, so I really like to go there and buy some. But yesterday I hadn't been there in a while, and they had some special winter scented candles. So I'm going to show you the top, because there's a little picture with it, and I hope that you can see it. It is ice cubes or ice. It is ice, and I really like it. I really like the scent of it when I was smelling it in the store. It really smells fresh, like the freshness of ice, and it sounds really strange, but I really love the scent, so I just had to pick it up. So I just lit the candle at the beginning of this video, so I'm probably going to smell it very soon, hopefully before I finish reading this story, because I was going to read my fanfiction that I write, but I'm not actually sure yet if I'm allowed to read that out loud on video with copyright and everything. So just to be safe, I am starting with an original story. The story is actually based on a picture, or not on a picture, on a drawing from someone. But I still have to look it up where it came from, so I'm probably going to post the credit here, somewhere in the description down below, or in the video somewhere. But it is a picture of what we consider in the West, I think, to be the representation of death, laying newspapers over a man who looks like he's a hobo, and he's sleeping on a bench, and it is December, or it's at least snowing. So that's where the story is based on. And that was the introduction part of this video. So I'm going to start reading now. The snow was slowly falling down on Earth. The birds, who normally sang at each other high up in the trees, had left for warmer lands. No dogs could be seen because their owners preferred shorter walks during the cold month of December. The park was empty. So was the town itself. The streets were abandoned. Inside the homes there burned candlelight. Families were gathered around a fireplace for warmth and to share stories. Stories of when the children were young. Stories about now old love that began to blossom many years ago. Food was eaten, love was shared, and kindness was inside every home. The echoes of their laughter could be heard from outside, where death hovered over the streets. Death was looking for the troubled ones who needed his help. It was his heart who showed him the right way. He was needed all over the world, often at the same time. Sometimes he heard people talking about him, expressing their fear of death. He wasn't able to tell them how wrong they were. Death was not the one they should fear. It was death who came to you when you saw no other way out than to take your own life. He would sit beside you to keep you company and remind you of the good memories. Death would be there when no one else was there on your deathbed. He would try to see if there was another ending for you than death. Perhaps even hold your hand to let you know death was there. And sometimes he went to those who came awfully close to death. He came to those who needed his hand so that they wouldn't meet soon. Death entered the park. The ground was covered with a heavy blanket of snow. Children had been here during the day to create a snowman. Some of them had carrots as a nose. Others had real buttons in their bellies. All of them had been made with care. This was not the place he was supposed to be. Not yet. His heart told him that he need not follow the path made by men. It were the deeper, bigger footsteps in the snow that he needed to follow. Death left the path to follow the trail instead. The trail led him past many trees. They stood closer together in the side of the park. If he was still alive, he could have smelled the alcohol from far away. It was the reason why no living soul came this way. The reason why the side of the park was overgrown by weed and filled with trash. If only someone had cared. If only one person would come here every now and then, Death thought. He saw the man laying on the bench. Empty bottles lay beneath it. Alcohol was spilled on the ground. When he was close, Death bent down to look at the brand on the bottles. A sad feeling filled his heart. He came back up, shaking his head. The man was not yet covered in snow. He hadn't been laying here for long. His teeth were clattering as he tried to curl up into a ball. The man's hands were bare. He would surely freeze to death before the morning sun arrived. Death felt sorry for the man. He gathered some newspapers off the ground and laid them over the man. It was all he could do. A blanket or a warm home would have been more helpful, but Death couldn't give him that. He sat by the man to keep him company. Of course, the man would never know that Death had been by his side as he died. But the feeling that there was someone there maybe made a difference to him. The night got colder with every minute that passed. Just like the man got colder as well. For a moment, Death had hoped that he might make it through the night. That is why it hurt him even more when he sensed that the heartbeat of the man stopped. Death stayed by his body for a while before getting up with a sigh. He knew that he couldn't save everyone. He had learned from many heartbreaking deaths. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't save them all. If only the living souls would care more about each other, Death thought, before he left to go to another soul in need. So that was the story. I hoped you liked it. At the end I kind of made a mistake, but the rest went well, so I'm not going to cut it out. Besides, I'm not perfect, nor is anyone else, so I don't really feel like I should cut it out. Like I said, I hope that you liked it. And there are going to be more videos of soft-spoken stories going to be up very soon. There are some more original stories that I could use for these videos before I hopefully finally figure out if I'm allowed to read my fanfiction out loud, because it's about a hobbit and I'm not sure, or at least the characters and the books are not yet public domain. So I don't think I'm actually allowed to do that, but I'm going to see if I can figure it out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video or to just listen to it. And I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.